Alrighty ho. Let's go with day 108. Oh my lordy, oh my goodness. Let's run a quick ad and crack straight into things because... Oh, whoops, I couldn't start an ad at this time. That's fine, I'll just refresh that. Okay, I believe I've got everything. And for some reason I've got my... Sorry, I've got an activity feed, 2 activity feeds popping up on my OBS, so I'll just get rid of one of them. Now, I don't want to eat my ice cream yet, because I've still got my dinner up there, which I've got to finish. And if I just quickly run a 3-minute ad, please. Please and thank you. Alrighty, I think that's running. Okie dokie, hokey pokey. So, we are back. Day 108. I thought, much to my naivete, that work would be better, but alas, oh my goodness, alas. Hello, Borgia, welcome. Oh, good to see you, good to have you. How are things? I'm streaming on an odd day because I desperately need to get through these Naruto fights. I've precisely calculated the exact amount of fights I need to do and what precise days I need to do them on to reach 0 just in time for Storm Connections. But it does require me streaming today. And I just have to find the days where I can because I thought work was going to be good. Once again, it is not. I've had a couple of very late days the last couple of days as well, but we're good. Otherwise, I am good. Borgia, welcome Scythius. Hello, hello. Good to see you, good to have you. It is good to see you as well. It is good to see y'all. It is when I can stream, it is just a good time. It is a good time because I enjoy seeing you guys, I enjoy talking to you guys. It's just a nice break from the monotony of reality. So I'm just gonna go and grab my dinner, which is some lovely Subway. I don't know if the Subway stuff over there is the same as ours. I've got my 3 pepper chicken. That is my go-to at Subway. So I've got that. I've got about did order a foot long, so I've got half left to go. And yeah, so that's more. I managed to finish at a reasonable time at work today, so I'm just like, great, I can stream. And I don't have work tomorrow. I don't have work tomorrow, which is fab, so it means I can catch up on work tomorrow, which is a good thing. But no, otherwise I'm good. How are your very late evenings, extremely late nights? How are they going? No, not that one, that one. And also don't mind me, I'm just gonna be eating my sandwich. I'll try and not munch and crunch too much. Oh my goodness. I have, and I've just completely forgotten it just as I was about to say it. I found an amazing question. The other day. I was scrolling down Reddit and someone said it. And I'm like, oh my god, I need to remember to ask that. Or to stash that in the bank of good questions to ask. And I've just completely forgotten it. Typical. What was that? Completely and utterly forgotten. Oh, my numpty. And there I was excited. made enchiladas. And they came out nice. Oh, It is good to hear. Good food, good games. I like it. I'm glad to hear the enchiladas went well. I think I've tried to make, I think I had to make one for school. I think it turned out okay. I mean, I don't actually know what classifies a good versus a bad enchilada. I suppose you could probably taste if it was a bad enchilada. But no, nice. Oh, actually do I have a couple of life updates? No. Well, not really. Yeah. No. I've only got work up. Well, it's not really work updates. It's like fun things that happen at work. Oh hey, Chula Gaming. Welcome in and thank you for lurking. It's good to have you around. Do some Overwatch. Want to comp with us? Like how I say it's in the nicest way possible. Won't let me because just oh dear. Oh, of course, because it's like this whole skill-based matchmaking. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. You could say your skill level is 2 above me. You could flip it around the other way and say you guys are so good. You guys are so amazing that I can't play with you guys. Bother ranking while I'm the top. Oh goodness, oh goodness. Yeah, I don't know how you'd say that nicely. So you've come down with the... I don't know. You've come down with a illness, which means you can't... you've come down with an illness, which means team-based. Your brain can't make the connections that it needs to make quick enough for team-based games. I don't know. I don't even, yeah, I genuinely don't know how you could possibly say that nicely. Good luck with that is all I'd say, is all I can really say. But I'm sure you'll think of something. That's an option. That's an option. You can just say that, yeah. Like, the game deemed it too unfair for the opponent, us all being together. So, it wasn't me, it was the game itself that stopped it. That's how you do it.
I haven't ran.
Because is there, this is me showing my lack of knowledge. Is there any mode on Overwatch that, like, the whole skill-based matchmaking doesn't apply? Other than, when I ranked wouldn't be the, maybe ranked, I don't know. But actually no, I suppose on those ones that you don't really, because it's not like ranked or anything, you wouldn't get any, like, you would be gaining points. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm so butchering terminology right now. My only experience with ranked, any kind of ranked games was back in my League of Legends days, and that ended with me giving up because I was so rubbish that all anyone could tell me was just how rubbish I was. I'm like, I'm done with this game, I'm good, thanks. I'm just gonna go back to my single player ones. That way I can go at my own pace and I don't disappoint. like a hidden skill rating on your account even when you play unranked. Ah, interesting. Okay. Interesting how they do that.
You were as good as I expected.
One second. Oh yeah. The part of me is all for skill-based stuff, purely because when I used to do PvP in Destiny, which I was not at all good at, that's okay, I got some kills. Was what do you call it? There'd be like, in every match, there'd be one character, or one player should I say, and they would have like this amazing weapon. It was like an exotic one from one of the raids. They would have that. Back in the day, it used to be this hand cannon called Thorn, which does poison damage. I think it was the only gun in the game at that point that did any kind of like damage over time effect. 3 shots with that and you're dead, like full on. There would just be one player, and it'd always be on the opposing team, that would just be a complete one-man army. Get like all the kills are done by them. They would just run around, they would know the map like the back of their hand, and they would just 2 shots with this thorn and then they'd just leave the poison to finish you off. And it was absolutely infuriating. And all the rest of us is like, man, it might just be me being rubbish, but like, it kind of just felt like, hang on a second. This guy's like diamond platinum tier, while we're all still like, maybe slightly polished bronzes. It seems a little bit unfair. So like, you know, that sort of stuff I'm kind of okay with. I mean, sorry, not okay with being there. That's why I would vouch for something like matchmaking. But at the same time, sometimes you just have to face the cold hard reality that some people are really that good, and you just have to learn how to improvise, adapt, and overcome. How are you going to get good if you're playing people worse than you? That sort of thing. That's what I like to think anyway. Yeah, so so when I came across those, you know, those players that absolutely wipe this floor with everyone, I'm always trying to like analyze, okay, what are they doing? What are they doing that I need to learn from? The problem is, I couldn't really have time to analyze them because I'd be dead within about 2 seconds of seeing them. So that's the other thing as well, but yeah. And again, I suppose that's why, it's always why I like games like Final Fantasy 14, where it's, you know, party-based fighting, but we're all working towards a common goal. You don't have to do PvP if you don't wanna. It's not part of, you know, getting good. And, you know, if I'm rubbish, then I can just rely on the carries to do it. I will say, I think I've told the story before, but I'm not quite sure. I'll tell it again anyway. I had my moment of despair and heartbreak and embarrassment. But then, like a phoenix, I rose from the ashes. It was kind of funny. I think. Well, I think anyway. So in Final Fantasy 14, I was trying to get new mounts. And a lot of the mounts are locked behind, so you got like your trials, which are kind of like your bosses. Like there's dungeons and then there's trials, which are kind of like your mega bosses. And there's extreme versions of the trials, and an extreme trial will have a chance of dropping a mount that obviously you will then have to roll for, and only one person's going to get it. So yeah, you hope when you do get it, because it's not a guaranteed drop either, and kind of hope that the mount drops and you get it, blah blah blah. Anyway, so I was doing a level 80. I think I was doing an extreme trial from the previous expansion, not Endwalker but Shadowbringers. And so extreme trials are very much, especially like ones in later expansions, you kind of need to know what you're doing and what's gonna happen. So like when the boss is charging up for this move, you need to kind of have an idea, okay, well when he does that I need to be standing here, and then like his AoE is gonna be in front of him, so I need to get behind. Like you kind of need to know what's about to happen before it happens. In this particular one, you're in like a circular arena, and obviously there's 8 of you. He does a move where he spawns a whole bunch of like electricity orb thingies, different colors, and then they all kind of explode in like you have to get hit by some. But if you get hit by 2 of the same color, one after the other, you basically will die, because I think getting hit by the first one puts like a debuff on you that if you get hit by another one of the same color, you take like mega damage from it. So that's why everyone has to be hitting one of like a blue and then a yellow, not blue and blue, yellow, yellow, whatever. Anyway, so at this fight, everyone's kind of splits off into one of the 4 cardinal directions. You've got 2 people there. Two people in each, and then when all these orbs spawn, you have to kind of see at like split-second glance which way the orbs are spawning. So everyone kind of runs in the same direction, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. So you're gonna hit a blue, and then everyone's gonna hit a blue and then a yellow, and then you've gotten rid of all the orbs, and no one's died from mega damage. That's kind of I've fully explained that, but oh well. Me being me. And a nub, decides to go into this extreme trial, like reading what I'm meant to do, but not fully understanding it. So anyway, so it's kind of like etiquette at the start of a trial to, the people kind of put in the chat, because there's no voice chat at all in it, but people are typing in the chat, you guys all stand here and pick a direction, then run this way and this way, and there's always confusion all the time about what people are meant to do. But anyway, so I think we wiped about like 6 or 8 times. We ended up completely like abandoning the duty as well, I think. Could be wrong on that one. Yeah, no, I think we did. I made a fair bit of mistakes, but so did some others. I will want to say it wasn't just me, I was not the sole reason we wiped. I wasn't doing much to help, but whatevs. So, the duty gets abandoned. The trial gets abandoned. And then I noticed that in the party finder menu, one of the players that was getting frustrated had started up a new party search, and you can join when there's like open parties stuff. You can like pick one to join and then join that party, and then you can do whatever trial they were kind of advertising that they were going to do. I see. Oh, okay. Well, he said that they're doing the same trial, so they're obviously he got fed up with the group that we had before, and he's just created his own one, and so he can get a better group of people and finish it. I joined that party, and within 5 seconds I get in the chat, nope, kick her right now, or kick him, because honestly they assume everyone's a dude, and I don't get mad about this stuff either. It's just like, oh well. And so kick him, and then I was kicked within like 10 seconds of joining, and I'm like, was I really that rubbish? Was I really that bad? So sorry, and I felt so awful, and I'm like, I'm so rubbish, they want to kick me, oh my god. So I was so bad. I was heartbroken. Oh my goodness. Hello, chickadee foo. Welcome in, good morning. Good morning, good morning. You come to hear my tale of woe. But yeah, so I felt awful. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll chill. I went to do like another dungeon, calm myself down. Well, I didn't really calm myself down. I wasn't like worked up or anything. I was just, the boy came in. I'm like, I got kicked by people, and he's like, what? He's like, were you really bad? I'm like, you're supposed to be supportive. Oh my god. Anyway. So then, I got my comeback. Like I said, like the phoenix, I rose from the ashes. So, about like an hour later, I go back to the party finder, and I see a group or someone saying that they want to do that trial. It's a different name. I didn't recognize the name from the group that we had, so I joined it. And then I think we had like 7 out of 8 people. The last person that joined was one of the people that was getting grumpy. And the first one that we did, I'm like, oh, are they gonna leave because they've seen me there? I'm just like, whoa. So anyway, so we started the trial, and I'm like, I now know what I'm meant to be doing. Like, I kind of understood, I understood what I was meant to be doing the first time, but maybe I just pissed them off too much already. But anyway, so we started, and then, so okay, right, so 2 people at each cardinal direction, me and that person, I'm just gonna call him Bob. Me and Bob went, I think we went south or east, one of them anyway. I think south actually, we were at south. So I'm like, oh no, they're probably getting flashbacks right about now. And then, so okay, things, fight starts. Little electricity balls spawn. I am flawlessly executing all of the mechanics. I am able to preempt exactly where we need to go. I'm not causing any mistakes. I'm flawlessly getting my rotations off. Oh, it is beautiful. It is a far cry from how I was the very, very first time that I did it. But, so I was just sitting there afterwards going, didn't even wipe once. I was able to flawlessly, and in some cases, not get hit by mechanics that guy actually got hit by. So, I felt redeemed. I felt, I see Mr. Moo. It wasn't me that caused us to wipe the first time. It was just me and about 3 others just making some dumb mistakes. So, even though he probably had, you know, I'm just going to assume, I'm going to hope that he was sitting there behind his computer screen, because I'm going to assume it's a him, being like, oh my god, she actually has been good this whole time. Why did we kick her when she tried to join that party? Oh my god, she actually would have been okay. And then that's kind of how I imagine that they were afterwards. Long story short, that was my only bad experience with doing matchmaking stuff in Final Fantasy 14. Boring story, but that's like my only bad experience. I think the only other bad experiences were, as I said, playing League of Legends, where it takes me about 5 seconds to load into a match, and then I get met with, oh my god, are you playing this game on a brick or something? Oh my goodness, get a better computer. Jeez, we've been sitting here for about 10 years, and I'm just like, me and my like 13-year-old self, 14-year-old self's like, okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, that's my story. Other than that, Final Fantasy 14 is absolutely pleasurable experience. That sounds weird when I say it like that, but yeah. Last game you played online was Burnout 3 Takedown. Oh goodness. That's a blast from... Is it a blast from the past? Yeah, no it is, isn't it? That's the one where you can like, you basically like go ram up against cars and then it does the big like slow-mo like takedown and then they're like out of the race or something. Yeah. Damn, oh my god, I think I remember my dad playing that. Damn. I didn't even realize you could play that online. In fact, that's weird, even though you could technically go online on some PS2 games. I like it. When I think back to the PS2, I always like feel that I feel like there wasn't one that you do online, if you know what I mean. So I think I remember playing Ratchet and Clank 3 online. I'm pretty sure there was an online mode, or it might have just been multiplayer. Yeah, it was always, I mean, it's at the advent of, you know, playing online. So there's always going to be some teething issues. Naruto and Chia. Oh, whoa. Sorry. 20 meters long, bloody hell. Yeah, that would have been a that would have been a interesting experience. Yeah, I never grew up on multiplayer for online games, so my first real, I think my first ever online game that I ever played was actually, it might have actually been League of Legends now that I think about it. No, that can't be right. Shit, no, it might have been. Because it's actually a good thing that I didn't play online before then, because we very much had we'd have had dial-up internet back in those days, back in the day. So as soon as my older sisters would have wanted to talk to their mates on the phone, that would have been the end of that with a quickness. Like, is the experience with dial-up internet like completely universal, and that like you get the like everyone got the weird like screeching sound whenever you try and you're loading it up, and all that goodness? Finish my dinner now, I can get to my half-melted ice cream. Come on, Chakra Dish and Naruto. These days to call it assisting sound effects. Oh god, it's like, because you know you get those videos now of like, we showed Gen Z, like we showed them what a rotary phone was, and we showed them what a floppy disk is, and they're like, what is this ancient artifact from a time long gone? And it's going to be so strange, and like imagine in like 100 years, oh my god, what'd I do? Oh, beans. Imagine like 100 years, it's like, this is an iPhone 7. And they're like, what even is that? Oh my god, that's so old and gross. Oh my god, that's so blocky. Us with our phones built into hologram devices on our wrists. But you actually had to have a phone that was another object or wasn't like fused into your body? Weird, crazy, you know, that sort of thing. Holograms, ooh, gross. High-speed internet? We've got what's called instantaneous internet. Or it'll be, what's the internet? We have the global virtualization network, or I don't know, something like that. I'm still waiting for the day that the world announces that there's no such thing as individual currencies anymore. That we've now finally shifted into where credits are now a global currency. We will have taken the first step into replicating every sci-fi thing ever when we start using credits. Sploosh, lovely. Okay, AI's getting annoying. Say AI, computer's getting annoying. Not quite at the point where you're playing against AIs in video games yet. Actually, are we? Possibly. There we go. Tachi, Katsuki, and Renji. What other? I feel like there's more. Oh yeah, actually two work updates which aren't quite work updates. They're just things that happened at work. So one is one of my coworkers found out you can customize your own Funko Pops. There's like you go on the Funko Pop website and you can like create your own Funko Pop. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. So I was playing around and I managed to recreate me and the boy. Beautiful. It'll probably cost us a pretty penny, but I've got the Christmas present sorted. Birthday present also already sus with the fragrances, and Christmas present is now sorted with customizable Funko Pop. So I've given him sunglasses. I've given him sunglasses, and thank God there's beard options because the hair that I've had to give him, because I didn't have a shaved head, the hair that I've given it, if without a beard, it kind of looks like a sorry, I just completely mind blanked just then. It looks like an old man, like an old man hairdo. So I'm like, thank God the beard makes it look not like an old man hairdo. Wondering what BF has got me exciting! Because it will it be It won't be the first birthday that you've been together, will it? It'll be the second birthday that you've been together. Oh no, it's the first bit. Oh, even more exciting. Oh, I hope you get something magical. What did we get? What did the boy? Oh, that's right. The boy was in a bit of a pickle when we first started dating. It wasn't really. I didn't know what to do because when we started dating, started dating at the very end of July, and then literally like a week later, was my birthday. So I'm thinking, I've literally just started dating this, but like officially dating, I think. We hadn't announced we were boyfriend and girlfriend yet, but officially dating this person. Do I tell them it's my birthday? Like, I don't want to, like, I want to tell them I don't want to tell them it's my birthday because I don't want them to feel pressured to get me something because we've only started dating for like a week, like, you know, we'll have only been dating for a week. You shouldn't have to get me a birthday present. Like, I don't want to put that pressure on him. But then I also do want to tell him because if I didn't tell him, then he might be like, what? Why didn't you tell me it was your birthday? I would have done something special, and then he would feel bad. So either way, I think I ended up telling him because everyone's like, oh my god, you have to tell him. I ended up telling him, and then he had bought me a little necklace with Mjolnir from Marvel Thor, a little necklace with that, and I think a Funko Pop of Triss Merigold from The Witcher, and I feel like there was something else, but no, I think it was just those two. Oh no, he got me another Funko Pop as well. Can't actually remember what the other one was. I think it might have been another Witcher one, Witcher 3 one, should I say? But yeah, but I'm just like, oh my god, and it was the most adorable thing ever. He was so nervous, but it was the single most adorable thing. He thought that it was like budget and like rough, and I just thought it was the most gorgeous, beautiful thing ever. He, because working in IT, you have lots of tools, like literal tools, like he's literally got a tool bag of like screwdrivers and everything. But he's also got insulation tape. This like dark blue, like really like one of those like really thick insulation tape thingies that you put on like cabling and stuff. So he'd got like this brown paper, and it was all like very haphazardly taped on with this insulation tape, and I'm just like, this is amazing. It's the most gorgeous, cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. And he's like, are you serious right now? And I'm like, yes, I am serious right now. It was lovely. It was lovely. And then for his birthday, which was 4 months later, I went all out. My mum must have thought I was madly in love, because I was. But I decided to, because I knew that he liked Fallout, and I wanted to get him something Fallout related, but I didn't know what, so I said, screw it, I'm gonna make a cake in the shape of the Fallout power armor helmet, because I've never made a cake before, nor decorated one with that level of detail that would require, you know, the level of detail that a power armor helmet would require. But I said, by golly, I'm gonna do it. So mum helped me, because she owns a food bar, so I could, that was me before work, because back in the day I started work at midnight, so that was me at like 9 o'clock at night when she was prepping for the next day, and I was making my cake and chucking in the chiller in between stuff, and she was like giving me tips and stuff how to make this cake amazing. And yeah, so that was that. And then I can't remember what the actual present was. Can't even remember what it was, but yeah, but I just remember this particular cake. Yeah, it I haven't managed to make one since. I think he stopped asking for cakes ever since the following year. I think it was the following year. He didn't want, or he wanted me to make a cake, but like on the day, and I completely forgot to get things for it. So I ended up just using like the spare icing and food colorings, and I ended up making him a cake that you would have sworn was for like a 6-year-old girl. It was like just like a basic, like I think basic chocolate cake, but then with like white fondant icing, with like a pink love heart and like blue like teardrop looking things, but all in a design, and then some like sparkly stuff on top. And you look at it and you're like, yep, this is for like a 22-year-old man. No, it would have been 23. This is definitely for a 23-year-old dude, manly man, not a 6-year-old girl at her princess party. And ever since then he said, oh, you don't have to make a cake, it's fine, you don't need to make a cake, we'll just buy one. But by golly, maybe not this year, but next year, I'm gonna make him the best cake ever. I've got no idea what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be something.
It's sad that we must part.
But it is so exciting, Chickadee, it is so exciting that it's gonna be your first birthdays. Oh my god, that means your birthday's coming up. Oh my lordy. Both your birthdays coming up? Oh, even more exciting. I'm so excited for you.
Don't underestimate the musicality.
My base. Give you tips you need it. Fair. I mean, everyone, because my last name is Baker, so everyone's like, oh, your last name's Baker, can you bake stuff? And I'm like, I can. I'm not good at it, but, well, I mean, I'm okay. Like, I know how to, like, I know what I'm doing I know what I should not do when baking stuff. I'm not pretty at it. Like, I can't make it look delicious. Think. Oh, sometimes I can, but yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, but I do like, because my mum, she makes cheesecakes, and like she's just good at baking. I think mum's just really good at understanding like the science of everything. Being like an ex-radiologist, she knows science, knows chemistry and biology like the back of her hand. But the one tip that she was telling me when I was making the cake for the boy, like all those years ago, was that you put coffee grounds, like ground coffee, into your chocolate cake, and it like keeps it moist and like, you know, keeps it looking pretty fresh. And I'm like, sorry, what? Coffee grounds in your chocolate cake? I don't want my chocolate cake tasting of coffee. She's like, it won't taste of coffee. It tastes nothing like coffee, but it makes it super shiny and keeps it super moist. And I'm like, okay, Ma, whatever you say. I need to listen to her more often, because my god, that cake was luminescent, super shiny, and super fruity fresh. It was fabulous. God, my goodness. Brings out the flavour of the chocolate. Yeah, it was mental. It's so counterintuitive to me, but like, you know, I suppose there's a lot of like ingredients that you just chuck together and they just work, like apple and pork. You wouldn't think they go together, but by golly do they. It's just, yeah, it's weird, but it's kind of cool at the same time. yeah, so that was all a complete giant segue from my colleague telling me about customizable Funko Pops. But then, so that was that, and then the other thing is, and I don't know whose idea it was either his or my boss's, but we've got these little, I think they're knitted. I'm pretty sure they're knitted. And we've got the positive potato and the you're doing a great job pickle or something like that. But these little like knitted figures with like faces, happy faces and everything, and you put them on this little stand and they're just holding these little signs and it's like, hi, I'm the positive potato, you're doing such an amazing job at life, go you. And then the do your best pickle or something is like, you're great emotionally and you're doing such a great job and you are a big dill. But I'm just like, I'm sorry, no one in New Zealand calls it dill. I was gonna say no one in America, I think it is in America they call it dill. But yeah. So I think the idea is that we basically hand them around in our team, like if, I know, someone's helped us with like a piece of work and, you know, we're super grateful to one of our teammates for helping us out in a tricky spot, or we've managed to be super positive when, you know, rubbish projects brought everyone down, sort of thing. We give the Mr. Positive Potato or the Be Your Best Pickle or something, we you know, bequeath it to the other person, and then we kind of just share it around, I guess. Like, you're not meant to keep hold of it for too long, something like that. And then so we're gonna call the positive potato, his name's gonna be Spud. I mean, these aren't very imaginative names, but positive potato's gonna be called Spud. And then the Be Your Best Pickle, it's called something. I can't for the life of me remember what it was. I could probably Google it. In fact, I might actually Google it, just so I'm not false advertising. But we're gonna call him Dylan. Specifically Dillon. Because my co-worker's like, we have to call him that, because then we're doing a subtle Predator reference. And then my colleague went on to show everyone the bit from that 1980s Predator film where like Arnold Schwarzenegger and the dude are like, psh, and then they do the handshake and then like flex their biceps and like, you know, manly man stuff. Yeah, so we've got Spud and Dylan. Spud and Dylan. They're our new members of our team. So we've got that, and I'm genuinely kerfuffled as to like why we even have them in the first place. What was it? I'm gonna go Be Your Best Pickle. Now I'm just getting jars of dill pickles. Okay, I'm gonna try and knitted pickle. No, now I'm getting knitted pickle ornaments. Never mind. I'm just gonna go positive pickle. Oh, well, I've got the positive potato. Oh yeah, positive potato. And where's the positive pickle? Oh no, I think, yeah, no, it's just called the positive pickle. Here we are. Oh no, never mind. I found it. It's handmade crochet things from Etsy. It's the Big Fan Pickle. So he's holding a sign and it says, I'm your big fan and I'll always be around to let you know that you are a big dill. And then you can also get the positive pickle. And then there's the emotional support pickle. So we've got the big fan pickle. I love it. I love it. So that's now what our modern workplace team are going to be handing around to each other when we've done such a fabulous job. Hey, Michael Rich, welcome in. Good to see you, good to have you. You've called us, we're talking about positive potatoes and positive pickles. Little knitted friends that that my colleagues bought for our team at work to hand around to each other when, you know, I'm working on a project and I'm like, beans, I've run into a bit of a pickle, and then my colleague helps me out and I'm like, wow, I'm your big fan, and then I give him the big fan pickle, and then when someone else helps him out with something and he's a big fan of them, he'll hand them the big fan pickle, and that's how that goes. A way for us to show our appreciation for each other. If we're aiming possibly my Excel training pad, I've got 90 on my test, dang! Got 2 off for using the wrong font. That seems a bit bollocks. But, so proud. 98%. I guess it's like a 98%. Love it. Good job. Were you channeling Lisa? I'm never gonna forget Lisa. I'm never gonna forget her. I've never met her, but I'm never gonna forget her. Hope you were channeling her. I'm close to 40, 37. Because what kind of so what kind of questions did you get on the what kind of things on the test did you have to do? I just think that's so bollocks with the wrong font. Look, I can like completely understand, like, you know, getting points off for a wrong font if you're doing like a design thing. Like, I can understand that, but when you're doing stuff in like, stuff in a table, you should need to be making sure you're doing the right font. That just seems like those markers have a chip on their shoulder. Also found that I overstayed the hell out of it with conversions and put on the table. Dang. Hey, it's better to be over prepared than under. Old Lisa giving you the PhD training. You'd probably be ready to tackle the PhD test, most likely. Dang. Oh no, nice job though. Yeah, 90%, dang. Okay, sorry, this font thing is annoying me. What font were you meant to be using? Can I just ask? Or was it like there wasn't a particular font, but I just have to like what was I gonna say? It's like it's like a difference between a serif and a sans serif font. Ugh. Sorry. Another like sandfly trying to grab me. Boys messaged me saying watch out for No Man's Sky and the PlayStation South explore the galaxy to get its door. Oh, that's cute. Oh, and then if you find an unexplored planet, which like 99.9% odds you will, you can name planets after your eternal love for each other. Because that's totally what I'll do. That is completely and utterly what I would do. Like, cause like pet name for the boy is Bunny, and his pet name for me is Darling. So when we discover our planet, it's gonna be Bunny and Darling's planet. In fact, all of my Minecraft worlds are all my Minecraft worlds are like Bunville and Bunnytown and Bun City and all those sorts of things. Yeah, I use Calibri. Oh yeah, Calibri, the standard. I was meant to use the old-fashioned Times New Roman. Yeah, exactly. Blast from the past. I don't think anyone's touched Times New Roman in about like 15 years. That's like dust. You even like, it used to be like normal to use it at school, but now like if I use Times New Roman, I'm like, ugh, what the hell's this? This looks disgusting. Say, hang on, I need those 2 points back because I used Calibri because I'm a modern person living in the modern world. I'm showing that I'm keeping up with the times. I'm showing that my thinking and my actions aren't old-fashioned and outdated. Should argue from a philosophical point of view. They're in academia, they should understand. But then again, it is academia, so they like things done in a very, very particular way for little to no reason. They'll just want to feel important. There were 2 moments this week that made me think, oh, touched. I'm flattered. I hope they're ice cream related, or at least one of them is. It'd be an honor if I had seeped my way into the collective unconscious when it comes to ice cream.
Battle begins.
Oh, you beat Harry Potter Lego! Oh, nice. Another game with the backlog should get you through games a lot faster if you go. Oh my god. She like, that's almost like literally word for word. Me and the boy, oh my goodness. He's like, stop calling it a backlog. You can't eat ice cream. The thing is, Chick Deepu, and one of the reasons why I love ice cream as much as I do, is that, is there a reason you can't eat ice cream? Or should I say, what is, there are many reasons why someone won't eat ice cream. One is taste. They just don't like the taste of ice cream. Fair to them. Natural selection will come for them though, just saying. Lactose intolerancy, which is fair. But there are ice creams that contain no lactose, which is even better. And then you're like, I'm a vegan. Great, there's vegan ice creams as well. And if it's super sensitive teeth and gums, beans. I think that might be the one gap that ice cream doesn't have an alternative for. Except, okay, I'm gonna be a bit avant-garde with this one. I'm gonna stretch a little bit on this one. In Japan, there is a dessert called mochi. And it is often called mochi ice cream. And it's like a chewy rice dough, rice pasty, chewy, sweet red bean thingamabob. So it's not like frozen, it's not as frozen as ice cream, but it's not ice cream. You know what I mean? So there's that. Basically, like, ice cream is like ice cream's one of those things like where there's a will, there's a way. Like, ice cream will cater for everything. There is an alternative of ice cream, or an ice cream-like dessert for every single person on this planet. You like weird flavors? Great. There's shark fin ice cream to quench your strange palate. You only like fruit stuff? Great, it's fruity ice creams. Oh, I need to watch my caloric intake. I only like low calorie things. Great, try some Halo Top. Boom. 60 calories and the whole thing. Sort of stuff. There's always an ice cream for everyone. And super sensitive teeth and gums. It's okay to melt it. Ice cream in all of its forms is good. Or there's like ice creams that aren't like ice creams or like frozen stuff, but they're still ice creams. May have to pull from some other places around the globe for that one, but it's still technically considered ice cream, so it's still a win. And yes, shark fin ice cream is a thing, which I think I'm pretty sure it's in Japan. They've got like shark fin, I feel like they've got like whale, they've got like seafoody ones, seafood ice creams, and there's another weird one as well. Can't remember, but yeah, there's weird ice creams around the place. Which is like, for me, a connoisseur and lover of ice cream. I draw a line. I have to draw a line somewhere, and I think it's at that one. I think it's at that. No matter how much I love ice cream, I don't think I could bring myself to eat like seafood ice creams. I struggle in a lot of stuff just to eat normal seafood. I think I can't do it. Which pains me, it wounds me that I will not be able to eat every flavor of ice cream that exists. But I would rather not eat it than eat it and it be on the floor in front of the cellar. But sacrifices must be made in the pursuit of greatness. And it is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Ice cream kage. Ice cream. Hey, I'll take it. I will take it. In fact, I might even make a multinational business. I don't know what I'd call it. Maybe just do a single shop, and I just call it the Hidden Ice Cream Village. And it's gonna be Naruto and or fictional properties that I like themed ice creams. So it'll be a strawberry ice cream, but I'll call it the Sakura ice cream. And for the Ino's ice cream would be maybe like a nice white chocolate, but then there'll be like, I'll get like nasturtium flowers, like the edible flowers, but purple ones, and then sprinkle those on top, maybe some purple sprinkles. Boom, you got the Ino ice cream. I'll just do a whole Naruto themed ice cream store. Yes, I'm gonna do that. And then for patrons of my fine establishment who are like, what the bloody hell's a Naruto? I can be like, well, it's a great anime. Oh, ew, gross, I don't like anime. I'm like, well, great, try the ice cream anyway. The ice cream is bloody delicious. You don't need to like anime to like the ice cream. For goodness sakes. Yeah. Fan of tycoon games in a month you can have a conglomerate. In 2 months, I will be the sole trader, or I'll be the sole ice cream manufacturer on the world. And in cookie clicker lore, if this was a cookie clicker game, in about 3 years, I would have awakened the ice cream demon from another dimension. Studies will have shown that human blood composition has been forever changed to be 13% ice cream. It'd be something like that. I just realised after this fight I've got to run an ad. Just realised. What just made me laugh so much? Was it about No Man's Sky? Just to be in the office today, and he's texting me saying staying home today, so I was like, tut, and he said you would dang a bad boy. Next will be like, fine, go work from home, but make sure you have any cereal, and he'll be like, I did, like, oh. He'll be like, I totally had cereal, I had nails for breakfast. And you're like, ooh. He'll be like, without any milk. And then you'll be like, oh damn. Oh, he's not a bad boy, he's like salty spittoon worthy. That's always one of the greatest SpongeBob episodes. And like the Hall of Fame of SpongeBob episodes, Salty Spittoon always has to be like top 10. Oh, I did, at the moment, because me and the boy are playing Starfield on and off, because we're trying to find like what the meme is, like, because you know with Skyrim, you know, the whole arrow, used to be an adventurer like you know, arrow in the knee meme, like that became a meme, and there's some other ones as well. So we're trying to find what the meme is in Starfield, or what the meme will be, and I'm like, haven't managed to find a conclusive one yet, but some of the random encounters you'll get when you're like traveling between star systems are quite clever and quite funny. I did come jump to another star system. I got hailed by like an anonymous incoming ship, and I'm like, what the hell's this? And then so I answered the hail, or answered the transmission. It's like, hey, we've been trying to reach you about your ship's extended warranty. We can see that you currently don't have an insurance payment with us. Would you like to set up an insurance plan? So I'm like, oh my god, they put the bloody extended warranty thing in this game. I freaking love it. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play along. I'm like, yes, and it's like, you have selected, you have chosen, or you would like to hear more. Great. Anyway, we have these 3 plans for blah blah blah, whatever. And so one is for like 50,000 credits, one's for 100, one's for 200, so on. So I'm like, I'll buy the $50,000 plan, and they're like, great, you've chosen the Power Plus Warranty 500 plan. You know, your ship is now insured for all mechanical failures, but doesn't include air conditioning repairs or something anyway. And now I've got my little insurance policy note in my inventory, which I love. I just love that they've put that sort of thing, and it's those little moments that I love. It's those little moments I've been looking for. And trusted with Starfield community, this is the first Bethesda game where the news will be made in a week. Oh, I thought they didn't even wait a day. Oh god. Bloody hell. Because I know it's been funny when the boys been looking for mods for Skyrim. It's so funny because I always have a knack of walking in at the worst possible moments. And so I walked in and he's on like Nexus mods and he's looking for things, and it's just like he's on like the homepage where it's just all the nudie mods, and I'm like excuse me, he's like, that's not what it looks like, and I'm like, what are you doing? What is that spell? And he's like, it was just the page that it happened to be on when you walked in. I'm like, sure thing. Sure thing. Nice excuses. But anyway, but yeah. But I think what's it? A lot of people are saying that Starfield might like become the new Breath of the Wild, no, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, in the sense of like, now that people are actually like sinking their teeth into the ship builders and ship editor stuff, like the kind of stuff people are coming up with is fantastic, and all like the outpost builds and all that sort of thing. So like, I haven't properly spent any decent amount of time in it myself, but I do want to, like, I don't know, rebuild the Millennium Falcon, or, you know, an R-Wing from Star Fox. Like, I would totally want to do that. Skyrim mod's got a better control to hit a more for a realistic sun. I never looked at it to know if it was realistic. Oh my goodness. I think the boy had what did he have? What did he have? He had one that like gave you like new varieties of trees and like flowers. So like when you're walking along the road, there might be some different types of trees and flowers in there. I'm like, why did you get that one? He's like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm walking along and I might see this really cool tree. I'm like, have you seen that tree yet? He's like, nope. I'm like, well. Yeah, but I mean, I don't have the skills nor the brain for modding myself, but like some of the stuff that people have are incredible. And like one of the things I would like to do, excuse me, one of the things I would like to do is know how to mod stuff and like mod quest lines. I would love to like make my own quest lines in a game. I'd love to do that. But I just need to get better at it. But I'm also excited for the planets, because they've said in Starfield you can build your own planets practically. So that will be interesting. It won't be long before all of the Star Wars planets will be done, all of the Star Trek planets will be done, all of the Mass Effect, like any kind of space property where they land on our planet, it will be made in Starfield at some point in time. I've just realised I've got to quickly run an ad. I will be back in 3 minutes approximately. And for those of y'all who it doesn't affect, I will be carrying on as normal, and I actually got to update the list at the top. So BRB for those it applies to. So we're at 2,273. Where are we at now? We're at 2,222. 2,222. Lovely. Tamari and Yanino, where are we there?
Battle begins.
Sploosh. Yeah, but the yeah, so far in Starfield, I'm actually, the more and more I'm playing it, the more and more I'm enjoying it, I think. Like a lot of the quests are quite interesting. I'm actually enjoying surveying planets, which is odd. I thought when I first was doing it, I'm like, oh, you know, this is gonna be there. But I'm actually enjoying surveying planets, and I think it's also just like the satisfaction of like completing all, like fully surveying all of the different planets in the system, and like feeling like you're getting a sense of completion, seeing the completion percentage numbers go up. It's just like plays right into that need for completing things. Sploosh. Oh, and sorry, I was just thinking of like lore stuff, and my mind went about 100 different directions. But I've landed on at the Mo, the Final Fantasy 16 Ultimania has been released in Japan. There's a lady called Audrey on Twitter who is translating pretty much all of it, practically. But the amount of details that this Ultimania has about everything, to the point where it's kind of like, why wasn't this stuff in the game? Like, it fills in so many gaps, I think. Or it's not necessarily gaps as such, it's just like information, like backstories about characters that you would kind of expect to have been explained in the game at some point. Like Barnabas, the main, not the main villain, but you know, the secondary antagonist of the whole game. Like, it's got his whole backstory, and it's like, oh, so that's what his whole deal is. So like, and it's also weird too, because it also explains backstory that's not even made clear, like backstory of the world that's not even made clear. Because you're like, oh, okay, so all of the big giant crystals essentially had, so like back in the day, there were like different tribes in Valisthea, and all the tribes are sort of conglomerated around one of the giant mother crystals. So, you know, and each tribe was kind of like, had an affinity for a particular element. So you had the motes of fire and the motes of shadow and the motes of lightning, or blah blah blah. So you can kind of like piece together like which crystals belong to which elements, kind of thing. So that, you know, that's all well and good. The northern territories have ice, and Sembrak and them have light, and all the, you know, those sorts of things. And so you would think that, oh, okay, well, because Barnabas is in Waloed, well, actually no, Barnabas came from across the ocean. How is he a dominant how is he a dominant? So you find out that, well, everyone thought that, oh, okay, well, in the desert, in that, like, desert basin thing with all the waterfall, like the Zemeckis Falls or whatever, where Crystal used to be and before it got destroyed, everyone's like, oh, that must be, like, the water crystal or something, like, because we don't know where Leviathan is, and Leviathan's like a lost icon, and, you know, that's all water everywhere, so it must be the water crystal. Turns out, no. The crystal that used to be at Zemeckis Falls in the desert was actually the crystal associated with Odin, or like the Motes of Shadow tribe. And actually Leviathan's crystal was actually in the south of Waloed. Rama's crystal is actually the last one that you destroy outside Estonia. So I'm like, okay, like, how does that work though? With the crystal for Odin coming from a different continent that Barnabas is in. So then, Ultimania explains that back in the day, when the Actually, I need to be very careful what I say here. Just for anyone listening, I don't want to start spoiling too much. Back in the day, when the fallen civilization was destroyed, by someone, then the tribes, the Moats of Shadow tribe, fled the continent to another continent that's not Valisthea. And Barnabas's mama was part of that tribe, and then she died in some war or something. So then Barnabas is, you know, awakens Odin because he's technically descended from the tribe that was associated with Odin's crystal back over in Valisthea. So then he awakens Odin, and then he then comes back to Valisthea sometime later and conquers it. And body-wise, he is 34 or 43? 34 or 43 in age, like his body is that age, but he's actually 70 years old. And I'm like, goddamn, why was this information not in the blimmin' game? It's my one criticism. I've got a couple. It's my main criticism with Final Fantasy 16, and it frustrates me because it's such a fantastic game, and as a Final Fantasy fan, it's frustrating. But it's like, there's so much world building and lore details that should have been explained, and it would have made things so much better. And it was the balance that they had to do, because they wanted the game to be enjoyable and accessible for people who don't usually play RPGs. You know, people who play Street Fighter and Tekken, I don't know, whatever. They're not there for deep lore. I mean, some might be, but you know, your people who are there who you know, people who love Final Fantasy lore. The Venn diagram, there's a giant Venn diagram that I think they had to map out, and I think they didn't want to make the game too story heavy at risk of alienating people who would be interested in the combat, but obviously they couldn't remove all the story entirely. But then the problem that they then cause is that when you're doing a Final Fantasy-esque story, with so many details and so many like things going on and so many characters and whatever, you have to start having these backstory elements, cutscenes, more lore notes or books or just something else, or just more of what they had for things related to relating to these characters. And it's just like like, it's just frustrating. And I have finally cracked the code, I think. And it's more just someone explained it finally in a way that actually made sense to my brain, what the icons are. Because you play the game and you're like, oh, okay, the icons are just like summons essentially, and people awaken to one and they turn into the icon. Like, it's kind of like two separate beings, the dominant and the icon, but they kind of like merge into one when people prime. And it's like, someone explained it, and then but then you're like, hang on a second, because then when you start getting towards the end game, and okay, spoilers for anyone who's listening that hasn't played Final Fantasy 16 all the way through or wants to play it, so heavy spoilers ahead, is that when you get to the end and you start saying, okay, Ultima is like, when you go into the weird like dream world of his or whatever, and there's like the big like dead Ifrit hanging there, and he's like, oh yeah, that was my body, and you're like, so like, what? And then you go into like an Origin, there's like the room right at the end, and then there's like all the Ifrits hanging there. I'm just like, sorry, what? And I'm just like, hang on, what are these bloody icons meant to be? Like, what are the icons actually? Like, they haven't properly actually explained what they are, really. But then I read something the other day, someone described it in a way that I'm like, okay, that actually makes sense. Okay, that actually makes sense. So, Ultima comes to Valisthea with all his brethren, and they're all like shed their fleshly bodies, and they're all, for want of a better word, like spirit type people. So then they've got their big plan to use turns half of them into mother crystals, chucks them into the mother crystals. The other half, I don't actually know where the other half are. You know, siphon the ether off or whatever. They then, you know, create humans with the plan of, we're going to create humans now, and then over time, these humans we're gonna give them magic, ability to wield magic, and over the generations, over the thousands of years that it may take, these humans, kind of like magic ability, will slowly strengthen and grow over time to the point where eventually someone will be born, oh goodness, that is so amazingly magical that they will then be the vessel for us, and we're going to possess them and cast rays and blah blah blah. Great, lovely. So they create their humans, and then they, you know, create little tribes of people based centered around one of the mother crystals, and that's where the whole like motes of fire and motes of water tribe come into being, because each of them, you know, positioned around a different mother crystal, naturally gained an affinity to, you know, the element that the mother crystal kind of exuded as such. And Ultima's basically like splits apart his power and gives, basically just like chucks little bits of his power to all of them, and kind of like his power's made up of all these different elements. So each tribe's kind of got a natural, gets given a natural inclination to a particular element. So then over the years, and this was the piece to the puzzle that I must have forgotten was explained, is that humans have been living in Valisthea for thousands of years, but icons have only been around and only started appearing like 300 years ago. And that's because over the years, the peoples who descended from these original tribes, over the time their magical ability has gotten so strong that some individuals basically go Super Saiyan. Like icons, like priming into an icon isn't like you are becoming another separate entity. Like Garuda's not some separate being that like possesses different people. It's like you're Super Saiyan, you like different people can go Super Saiyan, and whenever a descendant of the Motes of Wind tribe goes Super Saiyan, it manifests itself as Garuda, which is kind of like that's sort of the form that like Ultima's magic kind of takes in a sense. So it's not like there's different beings called Ultima and Bahamut and Odin or whatever. That's just what a Super Saiyan form of someone with a particular elemental affinity has. So it's still the same, like when Benedicta primes into Garuda, it's technically Benedicta's Super Saiyan form, not she has now become a being called Garuda. If that makes any sense, like it's, I could probably direct you to like the article, or not the article, but the comment that I read that explained all this. But so, and that's kind of the distinction, that humankind got to the point where Ultima's power grew in humans enough to the point that they can go Super Saiyan. So then when Clive is born, Ultima's plan would then be, great, you're born, you can go and recollect my power, like recollect all the fragments of my power that I've spread across the world, or like parts of it or whatever. You can go and recollect it, and then you'll then have, basically you kind of like grabbed all the puzzle pieces for Ultima to become a whole again, kind of thing. Because then the other thing that kind of helps explain is like, how was Benedicta and Dion and then able to turn into the icons even after Clive had done his magic suck thing? and it's because it was never that he was like stopping them from being able to summon someone. They can still go Super Saiyan, it's just harder for them to go Super Saiyan. It takes more out of them to go Super Saiyan after he does that, because Ultima's power is a bit more diluted in them. So they can still do it if they've like, if they're mentally damaged enough. But no, it's not the right word. If their wills are broken, essentially, is the proper phrasing. But that's kind of like, that's the kind of explanation for what icons actually are as such. And I think that's like the key distinction is, okay, it's not like there is a being called Ifrit who possesses, or not necessarily possesses, but like people can summon them and different dominants can summon them. It's just that those people had the natural ability to go Super Saiyan, and whenever anyone of that elemental affinity goes Super Saiyan, it manifests itself in into something that looks like Garuda and Bahamut and blah blah blah. Something like that anyway. If only that was properly explained in the game. And unless it was, and I've just like, my reading comprehension abilities have just greatly suffered, but like, that sort of stuff shouldn't be in the Ultimania. Or it shouldn't just be in the Ultimania, should I say. And also the Ultimania is only released in Japan, so that makes it worse. Yeah. And breathe. And breathe. You did get that from the game? So I think my reading comprehension abilities just must be completely buggered, because I did not get that at all. I thought it was like, yeah, I thought it was, they just, yeah, had an ability to summon. Because it's like the term, I think it's just the terminology they used. Like, dominant of Shiva, dominant of Bahamut. It's, yeah, things like that. Yeah. I might just need to watch that scene again. How we understood, because like I understood the whole, like all the Ultimas that we were seeing weren't the same person the whole time, or like the same, it was like, because one thing I couldn't understand is like, the one thing that took me forever to understand was, okay, Joshua's sealed an Ultima in him, but then how the hell is, like if Ultima's meant to be sealed, then how the hell is he still floating over there, and how is he doing, like what? And I'm just like, well, what's the point of Joshua sealing him if he's still able to do stuff? I'm like, oh, they were like different parts of the same person. So they're all separate entities, quote unquote, like clones essentially. I just, you know, think, not necessarily clones, but you know what I mean. So I'm like, okay, I finally understand that bit. But then I think it's just, yeah, the whole icon body things was just, I just couldn't understand it. So back, it was like when I saw like multiple Ifrits, and I'm just like, oh no, I can't, no, this. Yeah. I mean, I understand it now, I guess. But yeah, I think it's 16's one weak point. Yeah. Right, I played as Kabuto, didn't I? So now it's Tsunade. Again! Goodness. And Madara reanimation. Beginning with Joshua's crying to Clive made me think he's Phoenix rather than Phoenix was called down. True. True, actually, yes. Because I think I probably haven't explained myself right. No, I've confused myself. Yes, no. Yes, the assumption that I had was that, yeah, when like Joshua becomes Phoenix or when Dion becomes Bahamut or whatever, it's kind of like they are possessing the bodies of the summons. So it's kind of like, imagine like in 10, So like Yuna summons Valifor, but then she kind of like digifuses with Valifor, and so she can like, so she's controlling Valifor's body and she can like talk in the like the summon voice or whatever. But like, but they're still separate entities as such. I think that's what it was. Like they can like cool down the power of that summon, or like they're possessing the summon in a way. Yeah, it's weird. I think it's just the whole like there is no summon called Garuda. Yeah, it's just a Super Saiyan bit. I think it's just like in my mind just wrapping around the fact that they are Super Saiyans. And rather than gold hair or blue hair, depending on which Dragon Ball you're looking at, rather than that, they just, you know, look cool. The only thing though that it doesn't explain, though, is why there could only be one dominant for each summon at one time. That's the only thing that it wouldn't explain, because you can have multiple, like Vegeta and Goku can both go Super Saiyan. Yeah, I mean there's so many details and things. I'd love to like, I'd love them just to release I suppose the Ultimate Years of Final Fantasy 16 encyclopedia, but yeah, I don't know. They should just release it in English. Or I could just be smart and just learn Japanese, and then I don't need to worry about them retranslating it. Yeah, but anyway, that's my giant 16 discussion. Oh, what's the other? Oh no, the other juicy details actually is, so with Barnabas, apparently when his mother died when he was like 17 or something, that's when he awakened Odin. When he awakened Odin, oh actually no, then he created Sleipnir at the time, and so Sleipnir was kind of like his like imaginary friend kind of thing. Like that's when he created it. At that point, and then Ultima appears to him as his mum to get his like trust or whatever. He becomes a Akashic at like the age 34, 43 or whatever, and that's why his body's like not what it is. Well, that's why he's 70 but his body's only like 43. But he's like a special Akashic, but I think maybe the fact that he willingly went to Akashic is why he doesn't have all the weird like pasty stuff. Yeah. Something like that anyway. So then his whole mission then is to help Ultima with Mythos. And all that sort of thing. But yeah, so that's Barnabas's whole shtick. Other juicy details?
In defeat.
Edda, the pregnant lady from Waloed, isn't... I mean, she is a lady, but she's only just a lady because she's only 17. And I'm like, look, okay, I get it. Babies were had at a very young age back in the day. Not so much now, but back in the day. 17 though? 17 though? That seems a bit too young. Seems a little bit like she strikes me as at least mid-20s. Could be wrong on that one. There's a lot of like ages that are you just like, what, really? Oh my god. Like I think Joshua's 5 years younger, no, 6 years younger than Clive. So like like post time skip kind of thing. Joshua's like 28 or 26, something like that. Anyway, doing another playthrough. Oh, in Final Fantasy mode. Ooh, good luck on that one. I'm wanting to do another playthrough too. Eventually, I've decided I'm gonna get through a whole bunch of other games first. But yeah, I'm kind of wanting to as well, because I want to get the platinum on it, and I want to play it again, knowing what I now know of the story, to like see, to be able to catch tiny details now and like be able to like sort of read into things a little bit more, and see if your like experience with it is better when you're pre-armed with knowledge. Yeah, but also like I'm very happy with how it seems they've implemented New Game Plus as well, in Final Fantasy mode, that like enemies use very different movesets, like boss fights will be slightly different, like you're gonna get different enemies at different points in time as well. It's just like, so it's not just a complete like for like, but you do more or you do less damage, or enemies of higher health. So yeah, it's really interesting. I like it. I'm glad that they did that.
If it's for the
Right, Kunai and Roshi. Oh, and also, and then they've announced 2 paid DLC. Very excited. One of them will definitely be a Leviathan one, and one of them will definitely be a Sid one, I reckon. Or who knows what they'll do. Yeah, I'm very, very excited for those. In fact, most definitely one of them will be Leviathan, because then they'll introduce a whole new moveset. You know, a whole new icon set of abilities. So it's just kind of like endless how they can do it. I mean, because they've kind of got a couple of options. They can do like the because Final Fantasy 15 had similar-ish DLC stuff. Some of the like free events were like bits that you can get to, like you play the game normally and then like a new door's opened or something that you can get into. Whereas like the episode Gladiolus and episode oh my god, Ignis and Prompto and all them, they were like completely separate things, like playable things. You don't get to them from the main game. You load them up separately. 16 could do possibly a similar thing, because any DLC that they implement where you start the DLC from within the game itself, it all has to take place before the fight with Ultima, but it means that they probably couldn't start fudging with the lore too much. Like, you know, they could have absolutely endless possibilities for DLC. They could introduce a whole new set of like dark icons where, you know, in some people, I know, in another continent, icons have manifested themselves, or like descendants of the Moats tribes migrated to another continent, and there's now like dark icons or something. And then you can introduce like any other summons from the Final Fantasy series. You can enter in like Siren, Pandemonium, flippin' Doom Train, start like pulling all these other ones at Hades. I mean, you can do like equivalents for each element even. Like you can do so much. You can just pop in, like, you know, have a DLC that takes place when Sid fled Waloed. You know, how did he start the hideout? You know, how did he meet all these people? You know, sort of thing. You can have like Karen and Goots. You can have a whole DLC with them. You know, you play as a young Karen or something. Settle trade disputes. I don't know. Whatever it is, because the characters are so incredible that you don't really care which character it is. Like, all of them you want to know more about. Okay, so down technically to 2,200. I don't want to get down to... Still want to do quite a fair bit more fights. Ideally today I'd like to do 110 fights if I can. How many have I done so far? I've done, I think this is fight number 74. I've still got 36 fights to go. So which should approximately take me about 45 minutes. 40 to 45 minutes, depending on how fast I go. My average is about 20 per half hour. That's all like an average speed, but I tend to go a little bit faster or slower depending on how the fights themselves go, and depends on the characters that I get, because sometimes you get absolutely ridiculous characters that are just awful to play as, and then it just slows you right down. But I have checked and I've portioned it all out that if I do at the very minimum, or if I do on average 220 fights per week, 220 fights, I will get to 0 on Sunday the 13th of November. Obviously if I go faster, then, you know, if I do more, then it could potentially be Thursday the 12th, 11th, 10th night, 11th, 10th. But basically the goal is that I need to get to 0 before Thursday the 17th. Yeah, for Thursday the 17th I need to be at 0. That is my goal. Because on that day I will be playing Naruto Storm Connections, and I'd like to be able to smoothly transition across. And Fu. Lovely. And also if I do finish on Sunday the 13th, then probably what I'll do on the Monday is I'll do like a tier list of I'll basically do like a Naruto tier list of which characters were like the best to play as, which characters were the worst to face, and just do like a little tier list like that, just to, you know, do a little retrospective as such. Nice little retrospective after a year and a half of doing it. Delish. Who was I just facing? Ooh. And the other, like, there's been so many things as I've gone through this that have just been interesting. One is that even though I'm randomly generating the fights, I'm about 80% of the way done. I'm on the final 20%, which is exciting. But there haven't been any characters that I've fully done every fight that I need to do with them for. Chio and one of the Narutos is probably the closest. I think it's like 8 fights left to go on them, with others sitting more at like 25. But it's been generally balanced across the board, which is interesting. So I suppose you could write like a mathematic thesis on it, that even though fights have all been randomly generated, there still tends to be nice balance between all the different characters. It's been interesting to see. Sage and Tamari. Now what other life updates have there been? My life kind of been so uninteresting in the last few days. Have there been any games I've played? Have there been any shows I've watched? Have there been any... Oh, I have actually been watching some lovely 4-hour videos on YouTube. I love any video that's like over 2 hours long. Beautiful. I will watch the shit out of it. Excuse my language. Been watching one on some Elder Scrolls lore stuff. There's a channel called, I think, like Camel Works or something, and he does like these called like Elder Scrolls Detective, where he does these oh, did I click rematch? He does these like investigation videos, and one of them was oh dear. Sorry, emails. Yeah, he did this one on, he's like, a mystery that no one thinks about, and a mystery is, in Skyrim, one of the first like miscellaneous Dark Brotherhood contracts that you get is to kill this like beggar called Nafi in Iverstead, and there's a whole like miscellaneous objective thing to do with Nafi if you go and like find him normally, where his sister is missing, and he's like wanting to know where his sister is because she's like left and hasn't come back forever, and he, you know, wants to, he's not right in the head sort of thing. So then you go and talk to like the villagers, and they're like, oh yeah, nah, like Raider or whatever, yeah, she like went to go pick her flowers or whatever, and she never came back, and that was like over a year ago sort of thing. And then eventually you find like this quest marker, and there's like a skeleton in the river, and you know, you grab her necklace and you bring it back to Nafi and blah blah blah. You know, done. But then this guy's like, but this is like suspicious, like is that like, did she die? How did she die? And he does this whole like big investigation on it. I'm like 2 hours in, and it's great. We've discussed the possibility that she's a vampire. Oh no. Vampire? No. Possibility that she faked her death, and she grabbed those skeletons from a nearby barrow to fake her death, because she's a small girl from a small town who, you know, is done with her small town life and needs an excuse to leave. So fakes her death in that one. One that she was like secretly part of a witch's coven. What's some other ones? And I think now he's starting to get to like, we're now like branching out to the Daedric Prince Chair Gorath's involved to some degree, and it's just like he goes full detail, like completely full detail, and because he can use like the creation kit and the modding to kind of be able to see things. So there's like oh, the possibility that she was murdered, because what happens is that in the when you finish the tutorial in Skyrim and you sort of leave the cave at the end, you come out into Skyrim for the first, like, Skyrim proper for the first time. Over in the river that the raiders' skeletons in, there are 2 iron arrows that spawn, pointing down into the river, that spawn in the river, should I say, sort of pointing down, right over where you find the skeleton. But of course you've spawned all the way back in Helgen. By the time you'd reach there, even if you fast travelled, by the time you reach the spot in the river, the arrows would have been carried away by the current anyway. So you've got a normal player would have absolutely zero idea that these arrows even existed, nor that they spawn directly over this thing. But he's like, but obviously they're there, like he checks on the creation kit, like you can see they spawn in at the first time that the game's load, they spawn in. It's the only time that they're spawned in, into the world state. And like, why though? Like, why they're there? And he reckons is it a possibility that actually there was going to be a whole quest line about how the fact that she was murdered, that you investigate? Because why, like, the fact that there's iron arrows, like, how do you explain that so conveniently over a dead body in a river? Like, it has to be murder. So then, who murdered her? Like, oh, like a big giant conspiracy. Anyway, 2 hours into like a 4-hour video, I am absolutely fascinated that A, this video is even exists, which is just incredible. I love it. And B, that there's so much detail, that there's enough detail in Skyrim and enough things that make sense with all these different factors and parts that it's even possible to even theorize something like this. Like, I always, one thing I love about games like Zelda and Elder Scrolls, and ones where like the environmental storytelling and just the lore is so well done and there's just so much of it, is that, you know, when people are theorizing things, it's the fact that they even like, that there's so much detail and material to even pull from to make these theories even valid, you know, or make complete and utter sense, that it's almost like so many of these theories like make so much sense and have so much evidence pointing to the fact that they would be true, that it's like all of these theories must be like they must be true, like it's all pointing that way, and I love it. And that's like, that's one of my, like, if you want me to instantaneously love your game or your series, just put in so many little environmental cues, little lore notes, little one-liners or little offhand comments that a character will say to another, which ties into this other thing over there, which then relates to this lore detail from this book because it's the same character that's over in this inn over there, and then you can trace back to, so like, love it. Beautiful, and I love it.
This jutsu is here. With the thunderclap, be gone. This jutsu is here.
Skadoosh. Oh, and okay, last time I'll talk about Skyrim. I was watching another video today, like another 33-minute one by the same guy, and he was talking about what was talking about in Skyrim, the Dark Brotherhood quest line right at the start when you do your first mission, and then you get like kidnapped by Astrid, you get taken to that shack, and there's like 3 people in front of you that you have to basically like find out or determine which one has the Dark Brotherhood contract on them and kill them or whatever. And this is basically guys like, right, let's investigate who actually had the contract on them. And so, you know, goes through like who they all are, sort of like digs into other details in the game to kind of get even more of an idea of who they are, and could one of them have potentially like stolen his name from someone else, and that person would have had a reason to have a hit on them and all those sort of things. But he posits that actually Astrid herself is the one to have the contract, because she did say someone in this shack has a contract on them, but she didn't specifically say it was one of the 3 people. Because, he says, the biggest thing that points to this is the fact that if you, like, you know, you have to choose, and you turn around and actually, like, fight her and kill her instead, like, this line that she says as she dies is like, well done. And it's like, why would she say that in this context? Oh, it was her the entire time that had the contract, and she's congratulating you for figuring it out as she dies. And I'm just like, that is a detail. That is a thing that practically no one would even know, because who even thinks to turn around and fire it at her, let alone, you know, be able to beat her, because the fight's like long and she's difficult and she's got heaps of health and whatever. Oh my god, it was her the entire time. And it's just like, it makes so much sense. It just literally makes so much sense. And then he pulls all these other, like, other details, lore and stuff, and, like, you know, lore from the Dark Brotherhood from, like, pre-Skyrim. All these things, and it just all makes absolute sense. And it's just a theory, but it's, like, you know, these games with all this environmental storytelling is... It just makes sense. It just makes so much sense. And I love it. Be getting ready for it. What takes more? Hey, I hope I've been able to make your getting ready for work semi-interesting. But that's right, because I swear on my life I thought it was a weekend for some reason. I think I'm just feeling that because I've got the day off tomorrow. It feels like a weekend mentally in my head. Oh my goodness. That's been excuse me. It's one thing the boy has learnt how to filter out. Once I get topics that I am very passionate about and have a lot to say, I kind of just start talking and I don't stop, like, and it will just be a barrage. So thank you for, if you were able to take in 1 iota of all of that, that's enough. That is enough. I commend you for even if it was just an iota, I commend the ability to even make heads or tails of it all, but yeah, that's when I start talking, I really start talking. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, when anyone is just talking with such passion about games, yeah, it's lovely to see, and it's just, you know, for my most favorite hobby in the whole world, just, you know, the fact that like video games as a medium can bring out this passion in everyone as well. You know, even if it's a video game that I don't personally like, Fortnite, Call of Duty, you know, games that I don't particularly care for, whatevs. I still love hearing if someone's like going on this super passionate like rave about it and they're just like so like hyped up and like, dare I say, emotional. I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's just nice knowing that video games just still have that power. You know, can still make people feel things. Douche. Lovely. Thanks. Hungry, not sure what to eat. Ooh. Could I suggest? What should I suggest? Some nice porridge with, I've been kind of craving this actually lately. Porridge with honey and some nice like blueberries or like boysenberries or something on top, but like mixed in, but not like mixed in, so like the porridge itself becomes all like colored with the stuff, but like just mixed in enough that it's mixed in, if that makes any sense at all. I've kind of just got like a visual in my head. Yeah. So that, or okay, I'm actually now craving porridge. Oh, because I'm still hungry. Might have some kiwi fruit after this, but or what's some other options? Yogurt, honey and maple syrup, done. Porridge with honey and a dollop of maple syrup on top, done. Sold. make it extra milky. But not like too so milky that it's like liquidy, but like... Right, I've got to... Actually just gonna double check the number that I said I had to reach for today. I've got my trusty... oh goodness. Oh jeez, look at everything falling out of it. I'll have to pick that up later. Oh. Maybe I can't play with one hand on this one. My trusty daily to-do book thing. Do you check for your milk? Just butter and hopefully it does not have to be eggs. You got toast, like eggs on toast. That's a good alternative. Ooh, and then toast, melt the butter on it, and then eggs on top. Lovely. Right. My handy dandy daily book, to-do book, and with absolutely nothing in there because I don't do much day to day, but I do write down what number fights I need to reach. So what's today? What's the date today? 13th September. What number do I have to reach? I have to reach 2,140. That's not right. What? Really? What, I reached 2,140? Bloody hell. Well, I'm gonna be here for a long time then.
I give it 50 points.
Oh, in fact, actually, I know why that will be. That will be because... that will be because I have... that will be because I don't have work tomorrow. I'll have said, oh great, I'll stream for longer. That'll be it. That's not too fret. Where am I at? I'm at 2,182 after these two fights. Might just do 115 fights then, possibly. Actually, I'll keep going until I need to call it quits. But what I might actually just do is after these two fights, I'll run. Actually, after this fight, I'll run an ad, and then that should be the last ad for today. Yeah, because I've got a whole bunch of like Kankuro fights coming up later, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do those today. I'm gonna have to do them. I'm gonna have to do them at some point, but. Fabulous. Beauty. Okay, right, I will just need to run a soupity doopity 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 doop. Quick 3-minute ad. BRB for those that applies to. And for those who doesn't, let's continue. Let us continue onwards. Okay. So after this fight, we're gonna be down to 2,180. According to my book, I still need to do 40 fights after. But I will probably end up doing like 20, maybe like 20 fights. Possibly. Okay. Right, let us just super quickly update the list. We're down to 2,182. Lovely jubbly. Right. Naruto and Ino. So what fight are we at? There should be like fight 97 or something, or fight 96. Fight 94, never mind. Lovely. And gorgeous. And young Ino and young Naruto. No, not Shikamaru. Naruto, there we go. Just looking down my list, I've got like Chio popping up a couple of extra times. So then I may be like doing 3 fights with Chio today, which is then she's only got like 6 fights left, Chio, and that's Chio done. Out of all the characters that I may be the one to like finish all the fights with first, it's like strange to think that Chio would be the one, but that's the way it all is. Because I did a one-shot last Friday using descriptive D&D attacks. Ooh! Is that using the like the cinematic combat as Dad likes to call it? But like, you know, slide over the table and then with one hand slash upwards at the orc's chest and try and like, you know, and then as it like slices up, I like pull my other hand and stab the dagger into their chin, like that sort of stuff. Oh, if so, how did that go? Tell me more. Oh no, not that one. That one A and this last. Back, nice, nice. Yeah, hopefully Chickadee for you. Hopefully you got milk, because that porridge sounds delightful, and I might end up having a late night porridge because I'm craving it, but I better not, because I'm trying to like not eat too soon before bed, but needs must sometimes. Gonna be the one to be. You could tell you what, ends up doing a lot of. I try to do a 360 quick stop. Front flip and hit the enemy with my sword. Nice. Nice, yeah, that's the. I can imagine that there would be a lot, like any rangers would be doing hella 360 quick scopes with the bow. But like, you know, you'd want to be a Legolas. Like you just watch Lord of the Rings, you're like, yep, that is what my ranger's gonna do. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad the group enjoyed it as well. We did have one friendly fire incident. I decided you only friendly fire on one. Fair call. Yeah, because the thing that Dad was saying is that the fact that like all the actions, like everyone picks what they do, and then, or at least yeah, the way that Dad runs is like everyone picks what they do, and then everything happens at once. Is that like, you know, you've got to kind of be smart about not going too reckless, because if you just suddenly launch a fireball, a huge giant fireball at someone, you might catch the barbarian in the crossfire. He might run in front of your fireball, you know? All that sort of stuff. I don't entirely, I'm just gonna make everyone the target and play something. God, I've actually done it. Yeah. That sounds fantastic. As a fan of mystery stuff, that sounds fantastic. So like, so how are you going to prep for the whodunit, or like how are you going to be running that one? Reminds me, I just want to I'm actually going to try and find, just brought to mind, when I was planning my illustrious campaign that will be the most amazing campaign in the history of all that is good on this planet, e.g. me being so extremely overambitious that it's nigh on impossible to do it with any semblance of goodness. Files. Docs. Ah, here we go. D&D planning. I think I've got it here. Is it? Oh my god, it is. Oh, whoa. Oh. I've actually found. I thought I had it. I thought I didn't delete it, but I haven't deleted it, which is fabulous. So I've got like so I was gonna have like a giant like sandbox world that the campaign would be, and basically there was gonna be 12 puzzle dungeons, all themed around a particular element or thing. There'd be like a particular mechanic in each of them. Oh no, hang on. Each dungeon based on a zodiac sign or some other set of stuff I want. Each dungeon has 10 rooms, with the first room being the greeting hall and the 10th room being the sanctum of the great spirit. I'm very high fantasy. And then I've tried to map out every single puzzle, because every single room was going to be a puzzle. Because my dad had done something similar on one of the campaigns we did with him, that we're in this like in this treasure cave or treasure dungeon, and every room was a puzzle. So I've got like, it's like Hall of the something. So this one, for instance, in the Aquarius, so the Spirit Temple of Water, so in the Hall of Life, and these may get very cringy, because this was me, because I'm very cringy when I try and create my own stuff. So the Hall of Life is, the puzzle is that there's no real puzzle, it's just a room filled with water. So it's basically like, it's kind of like not living water, but like kind of like it's just like you open the door and it's just like water in front of you, but like the water's like magically contained to just the confines of the room. Anyway, so it's room's filled with water, filled with different kinds of sea creatures, so like fish, sharks, manta rays, and whatever. You just have to cross the water and reach the open door on the other side. If you antagonize any of the creatures, it will result in a battle. And then Hall of the River is a large river with stepping stones across, and whenever a character steps on a stone, a huge wave appears and pushes you back to the start and deals damage. And the solution is the river must be crossed, but just not via the swimming stones. Or just not via the stepping stones. So whether it's like swimming, flying, treading water, freezing the water or something and stepping across those, but yeah. And then I've got what's this one? What's this one? Oh, yeah. Hall of the Sunken Ship. So in this one, a large pool of water with what looks like a sunken ship at the bottom. So I'm like playing right into my fears on this one. A plaque with an inscription will read that they must seek the treasure in the belly of the beast. As a player approaches the ship, either by swimming underwater or on the surface, the ship will be swallowed by a baby kraken. So then the party has to kill the kraken, at which point the water will recede, allowing for the exit door to be reached, which is like because it'll be like a tall room. And then they must retrieve a pearl from the kraken's disintegrated body. So I guess I'd planned for the kraken to just disintegrate when it dies. But yeah. What's this one? Oh, so for players to have them all be invited to a king's mansion. Get as many suspects I can get, so I'll ask them to bring their phone to make everyone a suspect. I'll make it a tradition that as a sign of respect, the king eats with his guest alone. Also adding a couple of other suspects. From there, I'll still play on who will be the biggest prize. I don't have a tag. Ooh. Ooh, exciting. Oh, that's gonna be so fun. You totally have to tell me how it goes. Oh, I just love whodunit stuff. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. What's I got in here? Hall of Faith. There we go. We've got some more And feel free if any of these sound fun, like you want to steal them, by all means go ahead. Like, don't need to credit me on these. This is me just, and to be honest, this was me slacking off from work and writing these instead of doing my work as well. So what's this one? Hall of Faith. So there's a large chamber with huge water spouts on either side of the exit door. Door has an inscription around the border which reads, "It sometimes feels that the amount of pressure on you can make you explode, but just have faith." So the solution is the water spouts must be turned on and the room to be flooded with water. The water pressure on the door will eventually force it open and then the party can swim through. I like where my head was going with that one. Have I picked the... oh no, I have picked the right characters. So that's my all the puzzles that I had for the Sanctum of Aquarius. Oh, and then I've got my fire dungeon, because anytime I do any kind of like fantasy stuff, it all has to be like element based. So in this one, so the Sanctum Ignis Spirit Temple of Fire. So Hall of the Elemental is a chamber with an elemental on the far side, slowly walking towards an icicle on the other side. Simple fight with the elemental, just kill it before it fully emits the icicle or something happens, I guess. Oh, this one, I like where I'd be going with these ones. So the Hall of Braziers. So a circular room with 12 unlit braziers circling a large central platform. The exit door has a glyph rune above it. So some of the braziers must be lit so the shadows that they cast on the floor form the glyph or rune that's above the door, and then the door will open. What's this one? Oh god, this is where it gets cringe. Okay, this is where it gets very cringe. So I've called this one Hall of the Promise. So this one is a room with braziers containing flames of all different colours. Seven unlit braziers are situated in front of the exit door in a line. So then the party must light the braziers with the 7 rainbow colours in order, and then the exit door will open. And I've called that one Hall of the Promise is because the rainbow was God's promise to his people to not flood the earth again. So bringing in some religion into that one. This is that one. What's this one? That's all the ones I have for that one. I've got no puzzles for the Temple of the Winds. What? I have no idea. I can't even read that one. Coronus Umbris. Oh god. Hang on. I think this is where I started running out of puzzle ideas because there's like huge gaps in all of this now. Danzo and seconds Chicago. Oh, this one, Hall of Stairs. So a staircase landing with stairs leading up and down, and a plaque saying something like, "Only going down the darkest road can lead to the light." Again, apologize for the cringe. There are torches, candles, and other light sources lighting the stairs, going up and down. Going up or down either flight will just lead characters back to the same landing and like one of the weird like paradox loop kind of things. So the solution is only by extinguishing all light sources will walking up or down the stairs actually lead you to the next room. There's that one. Ooh, Necros in the Spirit Temple of Death. So this one, Hall of Offerings. A small graveyard with 5 tombstones with an inscription on each stone describing the person buried. A large basket containing 5 offerings is placed near the entrance with an inscription saying that each person cherished something in their life and they want it back. The correct offering must be placed in front of each tombstone or else a zombie encounter with the deceased happens. I feel like I've stolen that from somewhere. Like, that's a puzzle I've done in something. So I've actually probably nicked some puzzles from things. Oh dear. So like, for instance, the widow, you have to put a wedding ring in front of their one. The mercenary would want a platinum coin. The scholar wants a feather quill. So on. So there's that one. Oh geez, this one's a bit esoteric. Hold on. So this one's Hall of the Guillotine. There's a large ghostly market selling all kinds of foods and a guillotine with heads in the basket at the far end in front of the exit door. A plaque near the guillotine saying that their head must be in the basket for the door to open. So the solution is obviously you grab a head of food, so it'd be like a head of cabbage or a head of lettuce or a head of, you know, whichever food you have heads of. And then you put that in the basket and the door will open, so it doesn't have to actually be your head. What's this one? This one's Hall of the Lich, and this is just there's a lich that's like sleeping in his lich tomb thing, and you just have to, if you can get to the other, there's a whole bunch of like traps and contraptions around, and if you step on any or you do anything, it'll make a noise and it'll wake the lich up, and then you just have to fight the lich, and if you win, right? So you just try and get to the other side without waking the lich, unless you want to fight it, in which case go ahead. Right, this one is in Bestius, Spirit Temple of the Beast. Oh my goodness, I could just like, I know exactly what kind of, I could just take myself back in time to when I was writing this. So this was Hall of the Hunt. I like this one. A circular chamber with 10 huge stained glass windows that extend from the floor to the domed ceiling. Each window depicts a different animal, so like stag, doe, goat, ram, boar, pig, rabbit, fox, badger, horse. A pedestal in the center will have a poem that gives the clue as to which window to shoot. The correct one will shatter and reveal the exit door. Wrong ones will have corrupted versions of the animal behind them. So it'll be like, I don't know, frolicking along grassy meadows with my pack behind me. I do blah 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 blah. Basically, the poem will relate to one of the animals. You just have to shoot the stained glass window, and behind there will be the door. So there's that one. That's nice. Hall of the Chain, so there are some small statuettes on pedestals in a line in the chamber, each depicting a different animal, including man. So the statuettes must be placed left to right in order of the food chain. So like man eats lion, lion eats deer, deer eats whatever, etc. Is that one? Oh, this one in Cormaeus, Temple of the Heart. I think this one was meant to be like based around, you know, things to do with the party maybe. So this would be very, very customized, I guess. So in the Hall of the Twin, there's a large chamber with 4 lifelike statues, each depicting one of the party characters. Again, this is assuming that there's 4 in your party, so obviously there'll be more or less depending on who's actually going in there. As the party walks closer, the statues spring to life, so the party simply has to defeat their doppelgangers to continue, and I suppose they would be, the health and stats of them all would be directly identical to yours. What's this one? Ooh, this one might be interesting. You could be very, very clever with this one. And you'd have to be very... Yeah, you could be very clever with this one. So this one in the Artis Temple of the Arts, is Hall of the Past. So a large room with 5 huge murals within, each mural depicting a different scene based on a previous event that the party has experienced. Scenes will depend on what the party has actually had happen. So for instance, in the campaign that we ended up doing, me and the boy did with my dad and my mum and my sister, it would have a scene depicting the Sebastian Sparkles Travelling Emporium something. It would have a scene from that. There would be a scene from like when we went to this like big fortress and fought off a orc invasion. It'd be like, you know, scenes based on that. So then the puzzle is that in each mural there will be something in there that wasn't there in reality. So the party must remove a part of the mural that wasn't there at that, in whatever scene it's depicting, such as removing a character or creature that wasn't actually there. One mural will be entirely false, showing a scene that the party has never experienced and will need to be entirely erased out. So exit will open once that's all been correctly done. So that one would take like a fair bit of sort of thinking to do, and also like what you would have in those murals as well that wasn't there in real life, sort of thing. So I suppose you'd have to be very careful how you'd have to think how you would relate that to the player. Maybe use visual aids. Oh my god. Okay, so now in my thing, so in this world that I have half created, I went even further. So in each temple that you go into, so each temple, when you get to the end, will have like an orb, like a magical orb that you can take, and like contains the power of like the great spirit of that. So like there'll be like the fire orb and the water orb and the life orb and the king's orb and whatever. And each orb can be, you know, you can use like kind of like they grant benefits to, or they grant abilities or something to one of your party. Can't grant it to more than one of your party, can only be one sort of party member that's like linked to the orb at one time. But depending on their class, each orb's going to give different things. So for instance, the fire orb, you know, depending on the class that you are that sort of links to it, will do different things. So if they're a barbarian, it will give additional 1d6 fire damage to all weapon strikes. So I think these might be a little bit OP. Sorcerer, fire damage is doubled, stacks on top of vulnerabilities. Wizard can cast a fire-based spell at no spell slot cost once a day. And I haven't come up with ideas for all the others. Water orb is barbarian has no water resistance when fighting in water. So like they can fight in water as fluidly and as easily as if they were on dry ground. Ranger can track fish in water at any depth. Interesting. And monks can walk on water. What are those? And what's this one? The heart orb. If a bard links with that one, once a day, anyone that hears a song that the bard sings is charmed for 24 hours. God damn. Goodness gracious. I've got my, oh my god, I've got my potential encounters list. I've got all of the different enemies that you may fight in my campaign. I've got the landscapes and terrains, so around, because around each of the temples, because they're the core of like elemental stuff, the landscape around it will all be changed based on, you know, it being affected by it. So you know, around the fire temple would be scorched landscape, things just spontaneously combust. Water one, the temple would be in the middle of a lake. Earth has rocky protrusions from everything, so like trees and grass and buildings and animals all have rocky protrusions from them. In the Temple of the Kings, everything has a metallic sheen to it, like a golden sheen to it. Life is everything is overgrown around the temple. Death, everything is dead around the temple. Around the Temple of the Arts, everything has a painted look to it. So brushstrokes are visible when you look at things. Kind of like, I think I most definitely ripped that one from the Oblivion quest where you go inside the painting. And then you can like, everything's got brushstrokes to it. Definitely ripped from that one. And yeah, and then that's my... That's right, yeah, so this campaign, there were 3 ways to clear the campaign. So basically, your party's been whisked away to this world, this kind of like this like land that's sort of locked away from all the other worlds, lands. And there's like a giant demon cult that's like summoning this giant demon overlord thing. And so basically this like the capital city's overrun with demons and you've got to try and seal the demon lord away by somehow. Oh, these warlocks or something. Sorry, what's this? Oh yeah, so a warlock has opened the portal. So then the demon warlords that have come brand people. Oh yeah, so everyone in this land has been branded by these demon warlords. So anyone who doesn't have a brand, the demon warlords kind of like use that as a sign of, oh, they've come from afar, they might be a potential hero that's going to come and stop the demon warlord thingamabob. The 12 temples around the place, the warlock is drawing power from to power the portal to the thing. Something. Basically, long story short, so if basically you're kind of on like a clock, so at some point in time, like after a certain amount of time has passed, the demon overlord god will be summoned through the portal and like all hell breaks loose. So I've got like the fail condition, so if the party is too late and the demon overlord is fully summoned, large horde of demons will spread out over the entire land, imprisoning those in the towns and villages. The party will still be able to defeat him, but will have to use the sacrifice, or will have to sacrifice the orbs to use the great spirits to weaken him. Okay. And then we'll have to obviously give up the benefits that the orbs give them. The overlord will be based in the capital city, at the heart of the land, be crowded by demons of all kinds. The only way to get through undetected is to be able to show them the brand that marks the Northern Reach people, yet the party will need to find a way to get to where the overlord's throne is. Any temples that they haven't entered yet will be harder, or there'll be demons in there. So the ways to win is to find a way to the top of the Imperial Tower and kill the warlock before they're able to complete the ritual and summon the demon overlord. You enter the infernal plane and kill the demon overlord itself, which is, I've said, is pretty much impossible apparently. Or convince another demon overlord to stop them. So kind of like, maybe the demon overlords kind of have like a little rivalry between each other. So that's that one. So, you know, kill a demon lord or just convince another one to do that if your persuasion's high enough, I guess. You can. So, when your party gets whisked away to this land, you come across a club of wizards called the Super Wiz Club. They're just like a club of wizards, but they put a spell on you to basically stop you from leaving this land. They've said, oh hey, you're gonna come save us, we cast a spell on you, and you can't leave this place anymore. It's kind of almost like an invisible wall is there, so like you can't just turn around and go back to somewhere else. Like you have to help us beat this demon thing, you're not allowed to leave. So a way to win is you can find a way to break the spell and just bugger off somewhere else, or a party wipe. God. So a party wipe is a way to win, because I've said even then might decide to add something to do with their souls going to a different plane or staying in the mortal realm and able to still help out and defeat the overlord another way. Oh god, that possibility there. As soon as a character dies, their soul goes to the astral plane and they can do something. Oh my goodness. I might actually add in, I might just actually download that Google Doc and put it in my Discord. I mean, it's all very much half done, but if you wanna steal stuff from it, by all means go ahead. I'll put it there because I haven't done anything within like 5 years. I might actually just do that after this. Yeah, so that's anyway. That's all a very long way saying I tried to write a D&D campaign. So pick up the pieces and do what I have not gotten around to doing. I'll put the entire doc in as well, just so you can also see where the gaps are that I've like obviously half planned but didn't actually give any detail to. Cheers, the first character done. Yes, I think so. At the moment, she's sitting on about 7 more fights left to go. I think the next lowest, I think, is Naruto 6 paths at like 9 or 10. And then the next one from that, I think something like one of the, is it 1010? No, it's one of the young someones, I think, has got, or maybe another Naruto actually, who's got like 12. And then most of the rest are like sitting at like 19 or 19 to 25 is sort of the range for all the other characters. Something like that anyway. Yeah. Beauty. I'll say it's been lovely. Oh, I'm glad you've had a good time. That is all I aim to do, is just give people a nice place, a chill place, just hang out, chat, have it on in the background, do whatever, whatevs. There's no obligation to even say anything, the obligation to stay, it's just I do what I do, and I do Naruto fights. That's all I can ever hope for. But thank you, and it's been good to, after a full-on couple of weeks at work, it's just good just to let out all my pent-up energy, talking about things I'm passionate about. Waiting for the Disney update. What's the Disney update?
This is the end.
Oh my goodness, what's the Disney? Have I missed? Where's a Disney Plus update? Oh, Dreamlight Valley! Oh my goodness. That's right. That's actually a game I've kind of like been like it's kind of like on my list of games I need to check out. But like I just never, but like they're like low on the priority list to check out, but like I still want to check them out. Because it's another one that's like, not life sim as such, but like, kind of. I just have a soft spot for those games naturally anyway. Makes sense for she to be done. She was the first death and should be there. True. Oh my god, she was the first death too. Should have been Sakura. But alas, Sakura's the main character, so we can't have that. Oh, actually no, Kabuto. Kabuto could just, you know, go and die. That'd be much appreciated. Basically is Sims. Just don't get the Switch version just because if you love decorating there's more of a in which decoration is probably one of the main things I'd be wanting to do, so yeah, I would I've noticed, I think, yeah, there's been a couple of games that I've gotten Switch and console versions for, or Switch and other console versions for, and yeah, they've had differences that I hadn't expected there to be differences for. Decorating, fair. I don't have the money to flex my interior design skills in real life, so I try and practice virtually. Okay, I think I'll do 4 more fights, I think. So I'm gonna do that, a little bit of Sage and Chia. Just like the quest and farming. Oh, because there is, of course there is farming aspect, yeah. Because are there many like, is it kind of like, so you create your character, you go to Dreamlight Valley or whatever, are there a lot of, sorry, what am I trying to say? Are most of the NPCs all Disney characters, or are there a lot of like generic NPCs, like this is Bill who runs the bakery and Sally does the farm thingy-mabob? Or is it like, no, like, oh god, what's his name? It's not Philomena. Philoctetes from Hercules manages the Colosseum, something like that sort of thing. I don't know, it's just Phil, but yeah. Oh, those all Disney NPCs. Oh, nice. Oh, that'd be good then. That would be good. Next minute, Disney really pulls from all their own properties, and suddenly you've got like the Marvel corner over in the background where you go off to, you know, Thor's there and can help you put some Asgardian decorations into your house, which I would like. I would actually do the hell. I'd have Asgardian decor and lightsabers on the wall would be my house, but yeah. So to start you have Merlin, Donald, Mickey and Scrooge. Ooh! And Aurora. I always love her. Out of all the dresses that all the Disney princesses have, Aurora's has always been the one that like, oh yeah, I can see myself wearing that. Like I don't like the colors of Snow White's. Actually, I would actually wear Belle's, but I'd have it purple, not yellow. Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't put more Disney NPCs in to start with, but I suppose that's kind of like a helps with their monetization, I guess.
Weapon control! Gigantic iron ball! Ready! Weapon control! Gigantic iron ball!
Oh, you unlock them, but they're free. Oh, in that case then.
My life on the line.
In that case then. Oh, of course. Only money
Weapon control!
is for prelim shop decorations. Ah, okay.
Has been decided.
If it's a farming sin, would it be a sin? Okay, I've decided to get myself to a nice clean number of 50. I'll do 2 more fights after this one. I'm all about them clean numbers. I'm all about them 0s and 5s. My boss thinks that clean number is any multiple of 2. And I'm like, no. Clean numbers are only 0s and 5s, my girl. We're 20, 25s and 30s club over here, not 22, 24, 26s. Lovely. Okay, 2 more fights. Let's go. We go quick question. Fire away, my dude. Fire away.
Battle begins.
Douche. Lovely. Need to watch Naruto. Only work way through One Piece. Goodness, because that'll be you'll be there for a while. Depending on where you are in One Piece, you'll be there for a while. I'll say that much. I suppose with Naruto, you'll be there for a while yet. But no, I will vouch for Naruto for the rest of my days. Hero and the antagonist of the series of your choice are switched. Ooh, fantastic question. Absolutely brilliant question. What would change? First off, I need to pick a property. Property that would be a good one to use that for. Okay, let's go Final Fantasy X, shall we? And Tidus and Seymour have swapped places. They're still, I'm guessing the personalities are still the same. And I suppose while we do this, I'm gonna do just 2 more fights. Why not? It's 2 less we have to do later while we talk this out. I'm gonna do, yeah, Seymour and Tidus. I'm gonna assume personalities stay the same. What would change is that Yuna and Seymour. Seymour meets Yuna. He's on his pilgrimage to. He's going on another pilgrimage to do Sin, whatever. Goes to Besaid, meets Yuna, who will have just started her pilgrimage, become a guardian. He being who he is, swap places, or Yuna and Seymour end up marrying. Because she doesn't have someone like Tidus to kind of, you know, make her realize that she can, you know, she doesn't have to do what she gotta do. She'll end up marrying Seymour. Seymour will offer himself as the final Aeon for Yuna, which will all go ahead as Yunalesca and all them plan. They will defeat Sin, but Tidus will be like, have been brought by Sinject. We've been brought to brought to Spira to basically try to convince Yuna otherwise, essentially. So it's kind of like, yeah, trying to convince Yuna otherwise. No, you've got to, you know, not do that. So then, but then the way that the story, because the antagonist and protagonist are switched, the way that the story kind of needs to be framed is that what Tidus is trying to do isn't the right thing to do. He's kind of like meant to be like a snake in the, you know, green or worm tongue, so to speak. No, snake in the Garden of Eden. So then you end up fighting. Tidus in Sin. Whereas you would have fought Seymour on this otherwise. And then you fight Braska's final, or you fight Sin and then as Yuna you can summon the final Aeon, and then you defeat Sin that way. Possibly. Maybe? Maybe. So I'm gonna do 2 more fights. Feeling pretty fresh. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Yeah, because that's a good question, because there's a lot of ways you can frame it. Like, they switch places, but does the antagonist's original goal need to be like framed in a positive way now, and like what the protagonist was trying to achieve is now deemed the bad one to do, something like that. Yeah, it's an interesting question. Because what would be another good one? Like ones where like, oh god, the villain's actually, you know, villain's kind of got a point sort of thing. Because what that would also potentially mean for FF10 is that Auron is no longer your ally. Auron's actually someone you're conflicting with. So you'd fight like Auron and Tidus together or something.
You shall be brought.
This was Naruto pulls Sasuke leaves the village. Here he didn't put up with the village shunning in. I feel it's being fixed. Ah. That would be a good
Shall
one.
be brought to you. Misery
It's weird to think of, yeah.
be brought to
Yeah.
you. Shall be brought
Yeah, Rogue Naruto would be a problem because he doesn't have the power of friendship and love to kind of keep him under wraps, I guess, or like keep the Nine-Tailed Fox from not going crazy. Oh, that's good. And it would also mean that Sasuke would never get the curse mark. He would never get all of the Orochimaru. Basically, Shippuden version of Sasuke wouldn't exist, as we know it, because that's all Orochimaru-y stuff. Ooh, damn. That's juicy. I wouldn't be surprised if someone's like done like a, not fan fiction, but like, although there most likely will be, but like fan animation or something with that, like surely. With how prolific Naruto is in terms of fandom, surely someone would have done that. That would be cool. That would be so cool if they did. Yeah, that's such a good question. I might actually think about that one a little bit more. And actually no, tomorrow, I'll be streaming tomorrow. Because I don't have work tomorrow, so I don't have work to be late from to be unable to stream tomorrow. But I will have a banging tattoo of some lovely Moogles tomorrow, which I'll have to show you. Yeah, I'll think about that one a little bit more and get back to you on it. Yeah, I want to think about one a little bit more. But yeah. In that case, when you stream, ooh, okay. Looking forward to it then. I'm definitely streaming tomorrow then. I'm gonna tell the boy, don't care if you've got any plans, I'm streaming. I gotta listen to this. but in any case, I suppose I'll leave it there. We got down to 2,146 fights, which is roughly 130 or 128 fights that we did, which is fabulous. So, with that, I'll be streaming tomorrow, day 109, and then fingers crossed, I've got a normal schedule this weekend and work doesn't absolutely kill me on Friday. But until then, I'll catch you around. Oh, give you a hint to happen on. I think I might know what you're talking about. Was it like a war between like 10,000 different players? Something like that, I believe, but you'll have all the details, I'm sure. I've only know if it is that one, I only know about it in passings, but no. Excited. No, thank you all so much, Makarich Chikadifu, as always. Your presence is very much appreciated and loved. And have a good day, have a good night, have a good evening, have a good afternoon. I'll see you when I see you. Stay fruity fresh, stay fabulous, stay you, and drink lots of cups of tea. That's my advice for today. Anyway, catch you around and bye!